Welcome, Park Explorers. Hey, we're checking out the pet exercise area and park. It's part of the Brown County Park System today. It is down Mason Street, it's on the Oneida Reservation, kind of by, if you've ever been to Apple Fest, it's really close to the Apple Fest grounds, but if your parents Google it, they can find it. So it's really neat. This whole dog exercise area. Hey, bud, thank you. So this whole dog exercise area is actually 4 acres of a fenced-in area that you can take your dog off the leash, and it's all wooded. They have like obstacles that they can jump over and all kinds of stuff that your dogs can play with. So 4 acres is pretty much 2 football fields big, right? So that's a really big fenced-in area for your dog to be off a leash and play around with other dogs. So it's kind of cool. But there's also a bunch of trails that you can go hike. And also Duck Creek runs through this property. So we have never been here before, but we have heard it's pretty neat, and we're gonna go check it out today. All right, let's go. All right, hi Park Explorers. We're still out here exploring the dog exercise area. And on the Oneida Reservation, it is really cool. There's like all these really cool obstacles for your dog if you want to come out here and check it out. We're going down to Duck Creek here in a minute, but I wanted to show you a couple things. So since we're going to be focusing on decomposers, you know, organisms that kind of eat or break down dead material, right? Like dead wood and leaves and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking about organisms that are like beetles and worms and snails and slugs and all those kinds of things, but also mushrooms and another organism called lichen, which is like a mixture of a mushroom and an algae. They're also decomposers too. So I found this really cool tree, and it has a lot of decomposers on it. Oh, I guess I can't flip my screen, but anyhow, it has some cool mushrooms on it. So if you can see these mushrooms right here, they're growing straight out of the tree. And this tree is actually dead. It's a standing dead tree. And all this other stuff on here is lichen. So it's kind of breaking down the tree too. So you can kind of look for dead trees when like the bark is starting to peel off, like right here, or some other evidence is, see all these tiny little holes? These holes could be from an insect. It could be from a woodpecker. Now woodpeckers like insects, right? So it could be for a woodpecker looking for an insect. But dead trees are a really good place to find some decomposers. Hey, when we get down to the creek, we're gonna start like flipping over some logs and looking for some water bugs that are decomposers as well. Okay, so we'll see you in a minute. Hey Outdoor Explorers, so we walked down to Duck Creek, and this is actually Duck Creek. You can actually bring your dogs down here. You can see people behind me like playing with their dogs in the water, right? And that's kind of cool. But another cool thing that we found is we were talking about decomposers and water bugs, right? So a lot of the bugs that live in the water, they're this special type of animal called a macroinvertebrate. Right? Like us as humans, we have bones on our inside, right? And like our ribs and our spine, and it kind of keeps us up straight, and it kind of gives our body some form, right? Hey, August, don't fall in, dude. Hey, you're getting a little too close. But macroinvertebrates, they actually have their skeleton on the outside of their bodies. So some cool macroinvertebrates that I've seen already in the river are all of these, there's lots of crawfish in the river. So I've been trying to catch them, but man, they're fast, right? As soon as you like try to get your hand in the water, I mean, they're just swimming away from you because they can kick that tail and push all that water really quick behind them. Some other kind of cool water bugs I'm looking at right now are some water striders. They're actually really cool because they can walk on the surface of the water. Their feet actually have all these little hairs, and they're actually able to not break what's called the surface tension of the water. Water has some really cool properties, and the surface tension is kind of what keeps it's when water molecules kind of bond together, but the water striders are able to not break that surface tension, and they can stand on top of the water. Pretty cool. We can't do that. We need like a floaty or something, right? So, but there's lots of cool little water bugs in here, and you can like lift up. I see minnows. You can lift up some of these rocks. Here, let's try it. Let's try to lift up this rock right here. Oh, I see like all these tiny baby crawfish. I just saw like 3 of them when I lifted up that rock. That's pretty cool. Okay, so definitely come down here to the dog park and to Duck Creek and do some exploring. Whoa, there went one jumping. Oh, it was a frog?
Yeah, that was a frog, Dad.
Neat. So lots to do and lots to see down here. All right, we'll see you later. Hey, welcome back, boys and girls. So we're still here along Duck Creek, and since we're going to be talking about decomposers pretty soon, well, you guys actually, by the time I post this video, you will have already done some decomposers, but out here there's a bunch of them. So I found this really cool log, and it's got all kinds of moss on it and lichen and all these holes from where beetles have chewed it up and stuff. So I'm thinking if I turn over this log, I might find some really cool decomposers. I could find sow bugs and millipedes and earthworms and maybe some kind of bark beetles or something. So here, I'm gonna turn it over and we'll see what we can find. Oh yeah, I just saw some beetles running around down there. There's lots of fungus growing in here, and fungus is a really good example or a really good indicator of rotting wood. And mushrooms are a decomposer too, right? Oh yeah, look at all that. Here, I'm gonna try to rip this apart. Whoa, lots of fungus.
What was that? Oh, no.
Oh, Daddy. Look, tiny little worm.
You see a little worm?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it a millipede?
No, it was a worm. It was a worm.
I see all these little beetles running away from us every time I move the leaves around. But
I saw a tiny little worm squiggling around here, Daddy.
But, and actually this wood is pretty dry. So I would imagine the next time it rains and we come out here, all the decomposers are going to gravitate back to this spot. So, but really cool to do some exploring. And if you see like some rocks or some dead trees that have fallen down or branches, it's always pretty cool to like turn them over, and maybe you can catch some of these critters in some kind of like a mason jar or a Tupperware. Just make sure it has some holes in it to where the little critter can breathe, right? But it's really neat to kind of see how all of these different organisms use dead stuff to make energy for themselves, and when they eat that dead stuff, it's making new soil for all of the trees to have more nutrients. So pretty cool stuff. All right, hey, this is going to be it for our little trip here at the dog park, at the Brown County Dog Park on the Oneida Reservation. So definitely come down here. The creek is really neat. You could bring some little nets with you to kind of catch some frogs and stuff. That would be, we kind of wish we would have done that, huh, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. Next time, right? So, yeah, well, my daughter here likes to kiss frogs sometimes when she finds them, huh? Trying to find a prince. So, anyway, we'll see you next time, and keep on getting outside. Bye.